Welcome to Just Us Friends. As you have probably found out, we have a large selection of videotapes that I hope are helpful to you, that might give you some new ideas or some new perspectives. And this video is called A Medal for Mother. And I surely believe that being a mother is the hardest job in the world, and most every mother, even though none of us are perfect, should get a medal for doing such a demanding, all-consuming job with such love and caring. Now, we also all have trying days, and days that we may do some things that we regret. But for the most part, it's pretty extraordinary how mothers are able to love and commit, especially to tiny infants who need round-the-clock attention. The mothers don't get enough sleep, they don't get time for themselves. It is a hard and trying time. Thank goodness in our primitive physiology, when those babies are born, and even for those of you who have children that you did not give birth to, biochemical responses in the brain bond us to those children like the mother bear that will live in a way that the whole focus of our life becomes that baby and taking care of them. Some things do go wrong sometimes, and some people do have postpartum depression. Some people do not have as much of that biochemical response to their babies. And certainly in all these circumstances of stress and trauma that everybody goes through to some degree, we have to have enormous compassion and patience for ourselves to be what is often called the good enough mother, because nobody's perfect. Now, there are a few things that all of you know, and yet even knowing some of these things that we should never do to hurt our children, sometimes we slip. And again, we have to get help, and we have to be kind and patient with ourselves. We know to never shake a baby or a small child, to never hit a baby or a child or even a teenager. I would say never ever yell or frighten your baby or your child or your teenager. To always hold that baby or child in a place of compassion and love as much as possible. And when you're upset, it is not a time to punish or be loud and scary to that child. There are other options. Even if it means that baby is screaming and you're exhausted and you're at your wit's end, it's okay to put the baby down and leave the room and go someplace else and meditate and breathe for a few minutes. Don't ever do anything from a place of anger. Now, I would doubt that there's any parent out there who's always followed those rules. But if you can, make those your rules to follow. If we create a scary world for our child and they live in a place of tension and fear, then those tiny brains are awash in biochemicals that keep them at a heightened state of fear and alert, and that impedes their neurological and brain development. It interrupts their ability to grow a healthy brain, and that handicaps them for the rest of their life. So as much as we can, creating a safe environment for them. Crucial when they're upset is to be able to turn to you and to feel comforted, to feel soothed, and to get their equilibrium back. If we are the one that's having a meltdown, then they can't turn to us for that kind of support, and so they stay in a state of distress. So here is one of the big rules. You have to put yourself first. A lot of pressures are on a mother. Sometimes it's our partner and other children or financial worries. Always look at how you are going to get your needs met so that you can be relaxed and comfortable, and then parent your children from a place of love and patience and gentleness. Our anger comes out when we have reached our point of exhaustion, because we know in our heart that child is little, and what they need from us is guidance and support. If they're having a meltdown because they're tired and we're over the top in our own exhaustion, we can't help them learn to regulate their stress in their brain and their body. Now, another thing to be aware of is who else in the environment is making their life stressful. There are so many older siblings or relatives or another parent that may not have your awareness of keeping the child safe and protected. Older siblings, especially boys, often have lots of issues with little babies and with their own impulse control. And for an infant, that older sibling is as scary as another grown-up. And many, many children have been abused by older siblings when mother and dad weren't aware of the amount of anger or jealousy that that other child is expressing towards an infant. So that too can be harmful. We have to be aware of what our baby's world is like for them through their eyes. Looking at our world, assessing where the dangers for an infant lie, and most importantly, assessing where the dangers to our peacefulness, equanimity, happiness lie, so that we can make sure that our needs are met, even if the house is dirty, even if we have to cut down on our budget, even if we have to be clear and firm with a partner or other child, that you need your needs met, so that then you can parent that child with as much healthy parenting skills as you can. That little life is being laid with kind words, and that foundation is affecting their brain, affecting their body, affecting their biochemistry, affecting their emotional well-being and their psyche. And there are some injuries that can never be undone, some brain development that can never be fixed if they are not getting healthy, calm, kind, loving foundation in their life. So, Mom, you get a medal for doing all you can, and yet you can't do it all perfectly, but you can, first of all, assess what do you need to be the best parent you can be, and then the focus is on that child or that baby, and only then is it on the other aspects of your life, so that they take a back seat to your needs and your child's needs and your partner's needs.